One of my most anticipated seasons of 2020 has just arrived. Umbrella Academy Season 2 just dropped on Netflix a few days ago, so let me give my review on it. Now, before I explain this season, the synopsis of this season, I just like to say in my individual reviews I do not include spoilers, but as it is the second season, or in movie terms as it would be a sequel, I do include spoilers from the previous season. It's ideal if you have seen season 1 before viewing this video, so there's my spoiler warning. Now into the synopsis. Season 2 takes place immediately after where Season 1 left off. Five's risky powers cause the siblings to be scattered across Dallas over a 3-year period, starting in 1960. Having been stuck in the past for years, some have built lives and moved on, certain that each and individual one of them is the last one who survived. Five is the last to land, and when he does, he immediately finds out that the apocalypse has followed them back to the 60s through the timeline. So this season he must try and prevent that apocalypse, regather all his family back together in the 60s, and return to the original timeline. So now that Season 1 has established these characters and we've got to know them, we don't need any introductions. We can just continue with these characters as we already know them. And just like Season 1, the characters are all separated and they need to be brought back together, so it was nice to see that process happen again, and as we're more connected to them, as we know what they have been through a bit more than we did last season. You know, the 60s setting was absolutely great. Everything from the diners, the cars, clothes, just the all-round feel of it felt very 60s-like. Big deal of that was helped with the music, where you have a wide range of variety to choose from to hammer home that it is the 60s, but the music wasn't just only from the 60s. One of the best things about Season 1 was I loved that they could just chuck in some random songs and then that would just like get you hyped up a bit out of the ordinary. So sometimes whenever there's these Swedish characters who appear throughout this season, they have certain songs in Swedish. I believe there was an Adele one. I may be wrong in remembering, but I feel like it was Adele. Anyway, there's just some popular songs which are done in Swedish. As for the action scenes, they just chuck in some great songs which just hammer home the vibe of this whole show and how unique it feels. Like, there's this one great action scene in the second half of the season which has Backstreet Boys playing over the top of it, and honestly that was my high point of the season. It had me smiling so much. It had my head bopping a little bit. And the only reason that great action scene and all the other ones in this season were very entertaining is just because the action itself was great. You know, there was a mixture of hand-to-hand combat and the siblings using their powers. A great mixture of that. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't unfair advantage. As you know, Five can teleport, so him teleporting from front, punching them, teleporting behind them, and then giving them another punch. Seeing all their powers combined with hand-to-hand combat was such a joy. Also considering that these actions weren't shaky cam, they were all long takes with, you know, just the cut to a different angle, but you could see all the punches being hit, it all playing out. I'm not a huge fan of this normally, but the slow motion used in the middle of the scenes was just really fun and a great addition. My favorite character from Season 1 was Five, who is played by Aidan Gallagher, and in this second season I like the character more. As you know, if you've seen the first season, Five is actually an old man, but as he miscalculated in his time travel, he is stuck in his childlike body. As it is an old man in a child's body, he really does nail that very well, Aidan Gallagher. You know, just the way he talks to people, whether it's a girl at a bar or a diner, when she gives him a coffee, he's like, "Thanks darling," as if he's some old man who's been on this earth for a long time. And he can be very intimidating to whoever he wants, no matter his look of age. You know, just the way he talks to people, the way he taunts them sometimes in battles. Such a unique character who, for me, is my favorite in the whole series. This season we follow his point of view a lot more. I get to see him grow more. You can sense his frustration with all his siblings. He does some real shocking things which make him grow as a character and make him understand him better, and that he actually isn't just a child. Klaus continues to steal the show and has some hilarious scenarios with his new cult, which is established in the trailer, and he has some nice moments with their dead brother Ben. Just seeing Ben more involved I found very nice, very entertaining, and I'm glad that they included him more because I found him quite out of place in the first season. But this season I was happy to have him aboard. And as we get more scenes from the point of view of the handler, we get to understand the commission more and more, which was a very unknown thing about the first season. We mostly fully understand a lot of it now in this second season that they have explained it right on a plate for us, so I'm glad they did that. The stakes are even bigger and therefore better, and I like how things are tied into historic events. You know, there's a lot more little details that if you want to look into some breakdown videos, they will go into more detail on those minor details and historic events, which I don't want to go into as could be spoiler territory. The finale was the best episode I've seen this whole series. Things looked on course for a predictable ending in my opinion, but then it takes some nice twists. The climax drastically changes everything, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, off of memory, Umbrella Academy was either my favorite TV show of last year or definitely top 3. It just had this unique feeling and creativity. When I first watched this, I wasn't impressed as much. I thought they lost that unique feel. About halfway through the season, it picks up. It takes, yeah, as I said, half the season to find its feet, but once it does, it is back to normal. Things that I found very irritating. It was always on my mind, but you know, these characters come from a different time. They're back into the past. I don't know how they've just fit into society, you know, no record of them existing. I could be looking into that too much, but I always found it a weird and unexplained part of the season, and they just didn't seem to blink an eye that these people just appeared out of nowhere. As these people have come back in time, they've started new lives, they've attached to people in the 60s, and that means some of the truth of them comes out to them, and I thought that the people from the 60s kind of accepted things way too easily and came to terms with it, especially for the 60s. Some things like that, they didn't seem to dwell on it too much. So I think some realistic feeling things have made this a little bit less enjoyable for me. As I mentioned, Umbrella Academy was one of my favorite series of last year, and now they have introduced their second season, and for me, I thought this season was better than the first one. In terms of overall consistency, maybe season 1 was better, but just the way things played out with this season, I absolutely loved it. And some of the shock twists at the end, I'm very much excited for season 3, and I'm already impatient for it. Season 2 of Umbrella Academy was very good, and for me, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. And as for the overall series, I also give that an 8 out of 10. Just go and watch it. Like, if you have seen season 1, then definitely watch this season. But also, if you haven't seen season 1, watch that and then definitely watch this season. It feels so unique, especially if you're a comic book lover. Obviously, this is an adaptation of comic books, but it's such a unique show, and it's nice to see a show focused on comic books which isn't DC or Marvel. You know, you don't know which way it could go, and I absolutely love this show. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of season 2 of Umbrella Academy. I would like to talk to some of you about it. Also, let me know what season you thought was better. For me, as I said, I thought it was season 2. But anyways, thank you for watching. Like I said, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. I want to reach 100 subscribers as soon as possible, and I can't do that without your help. I've got a very busy month this month with my video schedule, and a lot of it is comic book related, so if you like that, please stick around for my next video. And yeah, like I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.